Okay, well, I said a moment, but we were going to do a 24 hours later to let Teresa's hair rest, but some things came up, and this is actually 48 hours later. I couldn't do anything I wanted to yesterday without getting my ass kicked. Let's get a little close-up of her hair. See that golden color? I should have used a 40 developer. I knew I should have used a 40 developer, but I didn't know how her hair would act. But her hair is soft.
I like that part.
Huh?
I like that part. It's like
yeah, you got a nice white going on there. Anyway, yeah, I couldn't get anything done yesterday for getting my ass handed to me. My fur baby Selena found a family of mice, and you can tell, I got cut up pretty badly in the process of trying to save this happy little family of mice. I did get them outside though. And Teresa still wants to go with bubblegum pink. She said she likes this orangey gold color, but we're not going to stick with it. So,
I picked up the name female version Goku.
I told you. I should have used the 40 developer instead of just the 30. And the roots came out good, but the reason why this right here is so brassy is because that's where the red was at. Because you can tell right at the roots it came out a lot whiter. Okay. Let's get these babies on. And pray that my cats do not troll the bathroom again, which I make no promises on, because Selena has been very mad at me ever since I took her prey from her. Because the babies were like 7 days old. You could tell by their size they were like 7 days old. And the only reason I know that is because when I was a kid, a friend of mine had pet mice in a big cage, and apparently she didn't know how fast they reproduced. Before she knew it, she had like 90. Alright, well, this is mostly going to be freehand, because it, luckily with the jamming color jams, I'm sorry I said that backwards, it's got the nice little spout on it, so I don't have to really mix it into a bowl or anything. So I can just kind of freehand it, put it in with a brush, yada yada yada. Oh, this bottle is stiff. Okay. Actually going to put this directly onto the bottle, or onto the brush, like that right there. And that way I've got a little bit more control over it. So I'm not going all the way down to her scalp, but I'm getting as close as possible, because like I said, this stuff will stain your scalp. It will stain it big time. Now in the end, she's probably going to have some on her scalp, because, you know, we are doing this kind of free-handed. And some of it is going to seep down to her scalp, because it seems to be rather solid, but at the same time kind of liquidy, if that makes any sense whatsoever. You know, it seems to have a pretty gelatinous feel to it, but as soon as it reaches, you know, the air, it kind of just liquidies out. And I know I'm not even using proper English, but bite me. Alright, so I know a lot of this part's going to be sped up too. So, again, we're going to talk freely, and whatever I decide to not fast forward or whatever, you people have the luxury of hearing, or
Seeing her step
disadvantage, yeah, depending on what we're talking about. Do what?
Or the joy of them seeing you stab me in the head with that bottle one time.
Have I ever stabbed you in the head with the bottles?
No, but you're getting close to it.
Yeah, well, this is jamming colors, okay? The bottles are kind of stiff.
That doesn't mean you have to jam it into my head.
I'm not going to jam it into your head, jeez. Oh, I'm starting to think putting it in a bowl would have been a better idea. Trying to get your bangs and all first, that way it'll just kind of... Ooh, girl, when you picked out a bubblegum pink, you meant you were going for pink. This stuff is like Barbie pink. I wouldn't even call this bubblegum pink. It's like Barbie pink.
Well, it says bubble pink on it, so for bubblegum pink. You can tell I'm going to have different colors of pink because how my hair's...
Well, it's because of the different layers of color that came out.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Well, later on, if you want me to, I can go back and put some of the blue in there, which on the tips will make it turn kind of a purpley color.
Mm-hmm.
See, right there, it's already getting to your scalp.
Yeah. Yeah, I picked up at school one known as Goku. Or Go-Cat.
Go-Cat?
Go-Cat. Female. Because I look like Goku. Like he was in Super Saiyan.
Cat straw in the bathroom.
What?
This would have definitely been easier if I would have just put it in the damn
bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. Note, if you're actually doing full head color, go ahead and put it in the bowl. Because when I did Shaylin's hair, I only did it in like layers of highlights, so putting it in the bowl would have been ridiculous because I was only aiming for small areas of color. So there was no need for me to put it in the bowl. But since I'm doing Teresa's entire head and I want to make sure that I get, you know, full coverage, no blonde spots, I'm about to have a pink cat.
Jordan!
This would have definitely been more beneficial to put in the bowl.
Awesome thing about these is they smell good.
Well, you can always tell when they're better for your hair than other dyes because they smell good. All of the other stuff will be really stinky. You're not going to be able to get too close to them. You know.
That one actually smells like bubblegum.
Well,
Hey, Jordan.
The rocking colors that I use, no, raging colors, I'm sorry. Raging color. I don't know why I keep wanting to call them rocking colors. The raging colors that I use, all the colors, every one of them, they smell like bubblegum. They smell like a bubblegum or a cotton candy. They just smell like a sweet treat.
Which is why you should never lay them down for your kids to get a hold of. Because they might actually try to eat them.
Yeah.
Because they smell that good.
Yeah, it's not for children. And if you're an anti-vapor, you're not supposed to leave it down for your kids. It's like hair dye. Would you leave hair dye down for your kids to get? No. Hold that. Suck it. Anti-vapors.
I don't see how vaping, how they consider vaping bad. Well, vaping helps my migraines, and I don't smoke.
Vaping helps my anxiety. Vaping helps Craig's ADHD. But it's bad. And I'm sorry, I'm a nicotine addict. I'm going to tell you that honestly. I am a nicotine addict. The biggest thing you have to worry about with vaping, though, is that if you are getting a lot of sweet flavors, like pastry flavors, yes, there is a chemical in it called diacetyl. But it is what happens in buttery flavors, like with your croissant flavors, cannoli, stuff like that, you know. But even then, if you go to certain vendors, they will not, even in the butter flavors or the buttery flavors, pastry flavors, when they mix their juices and they test them for traces of diacetyl, they'll actually remove the flavors from the lines. And I'm not going to name any specifically unless they want me to. But where I normally get my juice from, the guy who actually originally started the place, he went back and tested all of his flavors, every one of them, for diacetyl. And he did find a couple that had minute trace amounts that were harmless, but he didn't want any diacetyl in them whatsoever. So a lot of his original flavors that he had that were really good, he actually ended up taking off the line, simply because they had trace amounts of diacetyl. And yes, diacetyl is that chemical that causes popcorn lung. but he didn't want any traces whatsoever. Zero. None. So he took them off the line. And I respect him for that. Because, you know, even though it kind of diminished some of his collection, although not really anymore because he's got like 7 collections, he's global now. So you're probably kind of figuring out who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to say who it is unless they want me to. But, yeah, he's got like, all of his flavors he tests for diacetyl. Because he doesn't want it in there. And now the FDA is screwing us over, screwing us vapors over. I saw a meme picture yesterday that I absolutely loved, you know, in the Matrix. Morpheus was holding the battery, and he was talking about trying to turn humans into this, and it's just a battery. It was a picture of him holding the battery, and it's like, FDA, say it with me. Tobacco product, and Keanu Reeves is sitting there at the table flipping them off. It's like, I like that.
Well, honestly, vaping is not bad. It is if you get the wrong batch, okay?
People who don't mix their fluids properly. And let me put something straight. Mods are not going to just randomly blow up in your face. As a matter of fact, if you go and research some of the stories that you see on the news about mods blowing up in people's pockets, the people will turn around and say, hey, it was my fault. I put the wrong kind of battery in it, trying to see if I could push more power through it to get bigger clouds. I used re-wrap batteries, even though I knew I shouldn't have. The mods themselves, if you do not tinker with them, are not going to just blow up. They're not going to blow up. As a matter of fact, there was one story, and this is the one thing that I try to tell my dad and my grandmother about. Mods are not going to blow up in your face. You know, there's a guy who built his own mod. He built his own mod, okay? And he was trying to get it to be a pretty powerful mod. So he put, well, I don't know the mechanics of all of it, but he put in some really powerful batteries into his mod, which apparently wasn't, you know, built for that kind of power. And when he went to go put it in his pocket, it blew up. And it put him in ICU. Well, while he was unconscious, his wife, who was anti-vapor, oddly enough, and he wasn't, I don't see how the hell they got along, was talking about the fact that it was all the mods' fault, you know, mods are bad, you know, he'd never gotten a hot... And he woke up and came into all this, and he was like, hey, wait a minute, whoa, it was my fault. I built the mod. I was screwing around with stuff that I shouldn't have been. And I was like, yay for you. Thank you for standing up for the mods. You know, and there are people that do this every day. They're trying to come up with better mods and stuff like that, and it's just trial and error. How the hell do you think modern medicine came into play? Trial and error? But there's nothing about vaping that's bad except for diacetyl. And even then, a lot of your good vendors are getting rid of the diacetyl. They're finding ways around getting the buttery, pasty flavors without the diacetyl.
Yeah, because buttery flavors are my favorite.
Yeah, you
I like sweet.
Well, I tend to like more berry sweet flavors, and I'm a menthol addict, so.
I like sweet. Now, I'm not a smoker. I don't smoke. I'm against smoking. You know, ask her, I threw her a pack of cigarettes and freaking
Yeah, you know what she did to me one time when I was an actual smoker? She took my cigarettes, okay? Took each individual one out. Dipped them into the pond. Allowed them to dry, and when I ran out of the pack that I was currently using, she kind of slid this pack in like, oh, yeah, I opened this pack and forgot about it. I went to go light up a cigarette, and I think I actually attempted to smoke a sardine. That's what it tasted like. It was disgusting. So, of course, I put it out, and I go and like, oh, God, I can't even, no, I can't. About an hour later, I'm like, okay, let's try this again. I went to go get a cigarette again. Tasted like I was trying to smoke damn algae. I wanted to kill her by the time I was done. Because Teresa's sitting over there laughing her ass off at this point, so I know exactly what she's done. But I'm going to be honest with you, vaping is the reason why I no longer smoke cigarettes. Because I had to have major back surgery. I had to have a full spinal fusion done. Both sides of my spine. And in order for this fusion to be successful, they said you can't have any nicotine in your system whatsoever. Well, I had tried every method, including the patches, which, by the way, I'm allergic to. I can't use the patches because I'm allergic to the adhesive, and I actually ended up in the hospital because I was actually using a step down of the nicotine patches than what I was supposed to. So I actually got really lucky because when the adhesive started irritating my skin, it let all of the nicotine that was in the patch go directly into my bloodstream, and I ended up in the hospital with a nicotine overdose. And I was, like I said, using a step down from what I was supposed to be using. The lozenges are more addictive than the cigarettes themselves to me. I think that might be because I'm a peppermint fiend. I love peppermints. I tried, I actually did dip for a little while. I did. And let me tell you.
That shit's worse than smoking cigarettes, though.
Yeah, but I was trying to get over the hand habit of smoking. The needing something in your hands. Of course, that's not really the biggest issue. It's, your body needs the nicotine. But I was trying to find all kinds of ways. Like I said, I've tried everything, even straight up cold turkey. By the end of the, when I tried cold turkey, after about 3 days, my dad went to the curb store, who refused by any means. Didn't matter if we were in town and, he sat on my cigarettes by accident. He wouldn't buy me back cigarettes. By the third day, my dad went down to the Durham, went down to the store, picked up a pack of cigarettes, brought them back to the house, threw them at me, and said, go smoke at least 3 cigarettes before you come back in this house. Okay, I'm going to admit, I'm kind of bitchy without my nicotine. But after the surgery and everything, I kind of fell back into the nicotine. So I got a vaporizer again. But the vaporizer is the reason why I quit in the first place, because I was able to gradually reduce the amount of nicotine that I was taking in over a period of time. Because I think we used 12 milligrams of nicotine. And then after about 2 weeks, I kind of whittled it down. And then eventually I was at 9. And then after a little while, I whittled it down and I was able to get down to 6, and then 3, and then none. And then eventually, once I got to the none part, it was time for the surgery. I had to wait about, 2 months?
Yeah.
2 months, and then I had to go have a blood test done to make sure there was no nicotine in my system whatsoever. And, the vaporizer is the reason why I quit smoking. Now, yes, I'm back on nicotine now, but like I said, I'm a nicotine addict. What can I say? Hate me if you want to. I don't really care. And
I actually got in an argument with a teacher about vaping. Because when I was vaping before I had to give my vapor to Grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you have to stop for snacks and shit like that.
And people with tiny bladders.
Yeah. So, for a 3.5-hour drive, a little bit longer because we stopped several times, I sat in the van and argued the pros and cons about vaping.
Yeah, but it's like my mother-in-law, her train of thought is fuck facts. And I'm saying that because she got her new car, and she was like, no smoking in my car. And we're like, we're not smokers. No vaping in my car. But vape doesn't stick to anything. If anything, it actually smells good, but even the good smells not good. I don't care. You're not vaping in my car. So in the end, I respect her wishes. I really do. But if you can't come up with a die-hard fact, don't get in my face about it. I can't stand it. Especially people who have never even attempted a vaporizer before. My dad, we're trying to figure out our monthly bills and stuff like that. Head down. Trying to figure out our monthly bills and stuff like that, and he's like, is that vaporizer necessary? And I was like, do you want me to be a bitch? Is me being a bitch necessary? I mean, come on. We used to spend, what was it? How much did a carton of cigarettes cost? I forget.
About $4 these days.
a carton, not a pack. I think a carton's about $15. I forget how much a carton of cigarettes is. I haven't smoked cigarettes in a long time. But anyway. I am very sorry for that interruption. My dear lovely friend Kayla wanted to talk. But anyway, I forget how much a carton of cigarettes cost. But
responsibility. You have 3 cats to take care of.
3? I only had one.
Kitty, Phoenix, and Gatsby.
Damn.
okay, Kayla, hang on 1 second, okay, darling?
Okay.
Alright,
You only had one.
so a lot of that's going to be fast forwarded, but that's because my lovely darling Kayla wanted to have a little chat.
And your cat just.
Alright, Teresa looks like she's got complete coverage, but I don't think she's really going to end up with a bubblegum pink. It looks like she's going to end up with more of a...
Reddish?
No, there's actually a word I'm looking for.
Fuchsia?
No. Kind of a burnt orange. I mean, it's pink. It's pink in her hair. I hope y'all can actually see that in the video, but it honestly, I think she's going to end up with more of a burnt orange than anything else. So I'm going to get a shower cap and get it onto her head. Throw that in the sink. Here you go. Put your shower cap on. You look like you're wearing a garbage bag all the way around. All right. I guess this is the part where I'm supposed to say we'll be back after these messages? Yes? No? Alright.
I don't know.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll be back. Okay, so now we're going to see how Teresa's hair came out.
Got a bald
You
spot going
can
on.
see she's got a nice... I told you it was going to come out orangey.
I like it though.
You like it though?
Yeah.
I kind of figured you would, since it's that weird orangey color. Although it does have pink in it. You can see it's very plainly pink. It's got some pink, but I had a feeling it was going to come out like a burnt pink, a burnt orange type deal. I kind of like it though. It suits you, even with your skin tone. Alright, so I knew her hair was probably going to come out a little bit different than what we were hoping, but that's because her hair has never really had this much. Well, that shit happens to me too. Just little bitty hairs that just did not want to take to the bleaching process or the dyeing process. But this is what you get when you try to do it at home, and I do this regularly. So I didn't do a bad job, and she likes it. I don't think I've done anybody's hair yet that they've actually said that they've just hated. I'm not tooting my own horn, but yay, another success.
How
But-
your hair comes out always depends on the color when you bleach it.
Yeah. The color that you get always depends on the color that you have when you have it bleached.
I mean,
Now, if I had have left the bleaching on for probably the 45 minutes or the full hour, we probably would have gotten more of a dramatic pink. But I was really scared to see a pink in Teresa's hair. She likes it though. It came out more cotton candy pink than bubblegum pink. But
I guess because it's wet, it has a kind of a shiny glow to it.
you got the argan oil in it?
Yeah.
I live by argan oil. Use argan oil. Slather in it.
It helps your hands.
Bathe in it.
It helps your hands.
I don't care. Use it.
Smooth.
It helps your hands. Helps your hair.
Helps your face.
Yeah. Actually, when I get out of the shower, and first thing I do is that I'll wet my hands in my hair, and I'll get the oil nice and body temperature, and then I'll run it through my hair continuously until every strand is coated, and then I'll take it and I'll rub it into my hands because I have chronically dry hands, and ever since I've been using the argan oil, I don't really have to use my special stuff that I have to use every day, with oatmeal in it. But after I get it on my hands good, and my hands are good and coated, I'll put it on my dry spots on my face, because everything else normally stays pretty greasy, except for right here For some reason, I don't know why the corners of my mouth stay so dry. But, I guess that concludes this video. And I'll post another one soon. I mean, this is technically the second video, legitimately my first. Would you two stop fighting? So, follow me on Instagram, and you'll see a lot of the other stuff that I do, or, you know. Bye, darling.